Welcome to Destiny Destinations, where the world moves, stories breathe, and every journey begins with wonder.
Russia, a name that conjures images of endless white, of mystery, and of a land both beautiful and harsh. It's a country that stretches farther than the imagination, where the horizon seems to go on forever, and where every sunrise brings a new story. Just the name makes you think of huge spaces, lots of history, and things that don't quite fit together. Russia is a place where contrasts are everywhere, where ancient churches stand beside modern skyscrapers, and where the past and present are always in conversation. It's a place where winter isn't just a time of year, but a powerful force that shapes how people live and the stories they tell. The snow here is more than weather, it's a character in the Russian story, shaping daily life, inspiring art, and forging resilience in the people. From one side of the country to the other, Russia covers 11 time zones. It's so big it almost feels like a fairy tale. Imagine traveling for days and still being in the same country, watching the landscape shift from icy tundra to dense forests, from bustling cities to remote villages. Here, golden church domes stand next to plain Soviet statues, showing how faith and ideas can live side by side. The old and the new, the sacred and the secular, all woven together in the fabric of daily life. To really get Russia, you have to understand its differences. The delicate art of a Fabergé egg, crafted with patience and care, tells a story of luxury and tradition, and the strong power of a train crossing Siberia, a symbol of endurance and the unbreakable will to connect distant worlds within one nation. This is the land of famous writers like Tolstoy and Dostoevsky, whose words have traveled far beyond Russia's borders, exploring the depths of the human soul and the struggles of life. And the great composer Tchaikovsky, people who changed art and thinking around the world. Their music and stories echo through concert halls and libraries, reminding us of Russia's creative spirit. Every spot, from the water canals in St. Petersburg, where history glides by on the surface of the water, to the volcanoes in Kamchatka, wild and untamed, holds a piece of this huge story. Stand in Red Square where revolutions and celebrations have unfolded, and you feel the pulse of a nation. Or ride the trains through Siberia, and you can feel the weight of hundreds of years. Every journey is a step through time, every window a frame for a new chapter in Russia's epic. Russia isn't just something to look at, but something to feel. Its past echoes in everything happening right now. The faces you see, the stories you hear, all carry the memory of triumphs and tragedies. It's a trip through time, through strength, and through the spirit of a people still writing their amazing story. The seasons change, but the Russian soul endures, celebrating life in all its colors. To travel here is to see beauty and hardship, big dreams and sadness, all mixed together. It's a place where hope and struggle walk side by side, and where every person has a story worth hearing. Our trip into Russia is just starting. There are countless stories waiting to be discovered, and as we set out, we invite you to see, to feel, and to experience the wonder and complexity of this extraordinary land. Russia is the biggest country in the world, covering 2 continents and 11 time zones. Most Russians live on the western side of the Ural Mountains, while Siberia and the Far East are still wild places. Its geography is amazing frozen Arctic lands, endless pine forests, huge grassy plains, and even warm beaches. More than 190 different groups of people call Russia home, each adding their own language, traditions, and food to the country's mix. This variety is both a source of rich culture and sometimes causes problems from history. Russia's natural resources like oil, gas, and minerals help its economy and give it power around the world. Rivers like the Volga and Lake Baikal, which is the deepest lake in the world, are like lifelines in this enormous land. Russia's story is about staying alive and changing in a land of extreme conditions. The story of modern Russia begins with the powerful Romanov family whose influence shaped the nation for centuries. Their rule, marked by opulence and strict hierarchy, set the stage for Russia's dramatic journey through history. For over 300 years, the Romanovs reigned as absolute monarchs, guiding Russia through wars, revolutions, and sweeping changes in society. Their legacy is still felt in the country's culture and traditions today. Peter the Great, one of the most famous czars, transformed Russia by introducing new ideas, technology, and customs from Europe. He built the grand city of St. Petersburg, a symbol of Russia's desire to connect with the West and modernize its society. Catherine the Great expanded the empire's borders and brought new art and philosophy to Russia. Yet despite the glittering courts, most Russians lived as serfs, bound to the land and their landlords, with little hope for freedom. The era of the Tsars ended abruptly in 1917, when revolution swept through the streets. The Russian Revolution toppled the monarchy and gave rise to a new, radical experiment, the Soviet Union. Lenin and the Bolsheviks promised equality and a better life for all, but the early years of the Soviet Union were marked by brutal civil war, famine, and strict government control over every aspect of life. Under Stalin, the country industrialized at a breakneck pace, building massive factories and cities almost overnight. But this progress came at a terrible cost. Millions suffered and died in forced labor camps and purges. The Soviet Union became a global superpower, challenging the West in a tense, Cold War. But by 1991, economic troubles and demands for freedom led to its collapse, and the Russian Federation emerged from its ashes. The 1990s were a time of chaos and uncertainty, as Russians struggled with new freedoms and economic hardship. When Vladimir Putin rose to power, he restored order and centralized authority, giving Russia a new sense of direction and strength on the world stage. Today, Russia stands at a crossroads, searching for its identity in a rapidly changing world. It balances the traditions of the Tsars and the legacy of the Soviet era, forging a path that is uniquely its own. Russia's power in the world comes from its location, its strong military, and its science. As a superpower during the Cold War, it shaped world events and was a rival to the West. The Soviet Union launched the first satellite, Sputnik, and sent the first man, Yuri Gagarin, into space, starting the space race. Russian science gave us the periodic table and big discoveries in how things work and how to build them. Today, Russia is still a military powerhouse, having inherited the Soviet nuclear weapons and making its forces modern. Its spot on the UN Security Council means it has a say in world matters. Military strength is both something to be proud of and a cause of problems with other countries. Russia's power is complicated. It's strong, creative, and often causes arguments. Russian culture is like a deep river of art, music, and books. The famous Bolshoi and Mariinsky ballets, Tchaikovsky's music, and Stravinsky's new ideas are known all over the world. Writers like Tolstoy and Dostoevsky look deep into what it means to be human. Festivals like Maslenitsa and Reindeer Herders' Day celebrate Russia's many different traditions. Sports are a big passion. Ice hockey, figure skating, and Olympic champions make people proud. Russian athletes and artists are famous worldwide. Their achievements are a part of what makes Russia special. The mix of art, old traditions, and sports creates a culture as huge and varied as the land itself. Russia's spirit is found in its creativity, its strength to keep going, and its love for celebrating. Moscow is Russia's heart, a city where history and modern times crash into each other. Here, ancient traditions and bold innovation are woven together in the city's very fabric. Every street corner tells a story, from the echoes of czars and revolutionaries to the hum of electric cars and bustling tech startups. The Kremlin and St. Basil's Cathedral are the main sights in Red Square, their colorful domes and imposing walls standing as symbols of Russia's rich past. Just beyond, glass towers rise up in the business area, reflecting the city's drive toward the future. Moscow's skyline is a living timeline, where centuries-old landmarks and cutting-edge architecture exist side by side. The Moscow Metro is amazing with its fancy stations, a reminder of Soviet big plans. Each station is like an underground palace, decorated with marble, mosaics, and chandeliers. It's not just a way to get around, it's a daily journey through art and history, connecting millions of people across the city. St. Petersburg, Russia's old capital for its rulers, is a beautiful sight. Palaces, canals, and the Hermitage Museum. The city's elegant bridges and pastel buildings line the Neva River, creating a scene that feels both grand and intimate. Here, the spirit of the Russian Empire lives on in every stone and waterway. The city's white nights and lively art scene mix the old and new. During summer, the sun barely sets, and the streets fill with music, festivals, and art. Modern galleries and theaters thrive alongside historic opera houses, making St. Petersburg a place where creativity never sleeps. In Kazan, Orthodox churches stand next to grand mosques, showing how cultures have blended for hundreds of years. This city is a meeting point of Europe and Asia, where Russian and Tatar traditions are celebrated together. The skyline itself is a symbol of peaceful coexistence and shared history. Here, Russian and Tatar ways mix in language, food, and daily life. Families gather for meals that blend flavors from both cultures, and the sounds of different languages fill the markets and streets. Kazan's unique identity is shaped by this everyday harmony. Siberian cities like Novosibirsk and Irkutsk are modern centers surrounded by wild nature. Towering buildings and busy streets meet endless forests, wide rivers, and the vast Siberian wilderness. Life here is a balance between urban energy and the call of the wild. Life here is shaped by tough winters and a strong spirit to keep going. People adapt to freezing temperatures with warmth and resilience, turning challenges into traditions, like ice swimming, hearty food, and close-knit communities that support each other through the coldest months. Wooden houses and Soviet apartment blocks stand side by side, the past and present all mixed up. Streets are lined with memories, old wooden carvings, faded murals, and the concrete lines of the Soviet era, reminding everyone that history is always close at hand. All across Russia, the drive to move forward is balanced by a deep respect for old ways and nature. People cherish their forests, rivers, and traditions, even as they embrace new technology and ideas. This connection to the land and the past gives Russian life its unique rhythm. This is a country where the future is built on the foundations of a past full of stories. Every city, every village, and every person carries a piece of that history forward, shaping a Russia that honors its roots while reaching for tomorrow. Today, Russia faces the ongoing fight in Ukraine, a crisis with deep historical roots and a huge human cost. Sanctions, changes in the economy, and being cut off have changed daily life for many Russians. The conflict has divided families and friends, creating uncertainty and a longing for peace. Beyond the headlines, the real story is about people, loss, strength, and the hope for things to be stable. Across borders, people share the same wish, to live safely and build a better future. The way to peace is unclear, but understanding and talking are still very important. The world watches, hoping for a solution that brings back respect and safety to everyone affected. Russia is hard to describe simply, a land of light and shadow, greatness and hardship. Its people are a mix of cultures, languages, and beliefs, all connected by their strength and creativity. Russia's impact on the world is huge, from nuclear power to scientific discoveries. Its actions cause both pride and disagreements on the world stage. To understand Russia is to deal with its differences and its enormous size. It is less a country and more like a continent of stories. Charming, a bit scary, and endlessly complicated. We have seen its cities and history, but the wild heart of Russia still waits. The story is far from over. Our journey now turns to Russia's wild heart, huge, untamed, and amazing. The Siberian taiga, a huge forest, stretches for thousands of miles, home to tigers and bears. Lake Baikal, the deepest lake in the world, is a place of pure beauty and old stories. Kamchatka's volcanoes and geysers show nature's raw power. Here, people learn to live with harsh weather and being far from others, their strength tested every day. In these wild places, Russia's true size and spirit are shown. The next part is about exploring into the spirit of the wilderness and the never-ending frontier.
Until we meet again, stay inspired. With Destiny Destinations, you'll